Welcome to the Easy Marketing Guide with Julie Niehoff on the Listen Up Network. This is our weekly podcast with helpful, practical advice for small businesses and nonprofits. If you like what you hear today, please hit subscribe so that you will always have the latest episode. And you can always go to our website, theeasymarketingguide.com, to get free downloads and helpful links for everything we talk about on the show. How's it going? Let's get this show on the road. Welcome to episode 102. I'm your host, Julie Niehoff, and as always in the studio along with me is my producer, CJ.
Yellow.
And this is our second show. We are out of the gate. It is time to open this baby up and see what she can do.
Okay.
Today we have a small win interview. We're going to talk to Aaron Harris of Harris Handcrafted. He's only been in business for, 6 or 7 months, and he was recently able to jump from having a full-time job into following his own passion for woodworking full-time. And so that's a celebration of a small win. So I want to talk to him.
He's an artisan.
Yep. And we're also going to have our first Tom Says segment. Do you want to tell people a little bit about Tom?
Sure. Tom is an old friend. He's from Cleveland. He has a very unique way of looking at things sometimes. And it's in antithesis to our normal listener in that he doesn't really prescribe so much to social media, doesn't really like having the smartphone that does everything, doesn't like the idea of someone being able to get all your information all the time.
He's also a practicing attorney and a successful entrepreneur. And
very accomplished.
And we actually came up with this idea to talk to Tom because he is about to start a whole new business, a used car business. So we're going to follow along with him throughout the season. But I just love to talk to him. He's got a lot to say. He's a smart guy and comes at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, and he has started and done many small businesses to himself. So that it's interesting to talk to him about some of his wins and losses. And that's what this whole show is about.
I think it's really important to celebrate small wins. Very important.
Yes.
Did you know that 70% of small businesses are owned and operated by a single person?
Wow, really?
Well, I think in that situation, obviously it's important to have people around you that care.
Yeah, you got to have support.
Whether that's friends or family or a dog or a cat or whatever.
Yes. Dog.
We're not cat people, but there are cat people listening. So.
Well, they know better than anyone that cats really don't give a shit.
Success is a series of small wins, and you got to celebrate them. You got to celebrate being able to not keep your full-time job and do what you want to do. You got to celebrate the first sale or the first referral or the first new contract or your first chance to actually get away and take a vacation. That's hard to get to.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
That's a big one is, all of a sudden it's like, wow, geez, I haven't had a vacation in two years.
Yeah. But small things add up and they become big things. And to me, that's the essence of being a small business or a nonprofit. If you're running on a small staff or very small budget, you can build something out of that. And those small changes or those small wins can turn into really big things and you can have an impact.
Indeed.
So let's move on to our talk with Aaron.
Let's do it.
Today we're going to talk about turning your hobby, your creativity, your outlet, your passion into a profession, into a business. And we're going to start with a great interview with Aaron Harris of Harris Handcrafted.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here. And I want to talk to you because, I've known you for a while. Mm-hmm. And I knew you when you didn't have your own business and
Sure.
You were full-time employed. Mm-hmm. And you started dabbling in woodwork. And
That's right.
making art pieces. You're a creative person.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, you 10 years in a band.
Yep.
And,
Yep. Yeah, it definitely, I would say so, yes.
Yes.
Sun Salutation, go buy the album.
Oh, yeah. It's a great Sun Salutation, which is a great band and has a great following. So you have a nice network. Already.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of small businesses start. I've seen a lot of small businesses do well. I've seen a lot fail. And I've never seen one in the world of starting with craft and artisan work and working with your hands to create something. I've never seen one start as solidly as yours has.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And so I wanted to have you in because I want to pick your brain and
Sure.
share your secrets. Sorry.
Sure.
So
What is Harris Handcrafted?
Well, currently right now, I focus on wall art, custom home decor pieces, tables, furniture, things like that. I'm taking it little by little, but yes, I mainly focus on wall art at this point. So it's a nice little endeavor.
It's custom art, though.
Yeah, everything's custom. My main piece, I would say, is my sound wave piece, is what I title it. But basically, it's just any audio, whether it be a recording from your phone, a song, just snippets of it. Well, I turn that audio into a sound wave via my computer, and then from there, I turn that into a piece of art that
So
you can hang on your wall.
visual of
Yeah.
audio.
It's sound and color. There it is.
Is that your biggest seller?
Yes, definitely. That is what actually got me rolling a little bit more, is the fact that I had something unique that I could offer that was completely personalized. Every single one of them was different than the other.
They're beautiful.
Thank you. And
You're mentioning Etsy. I need you to tell people what Etsy is, because we've never talked about it on the show before.
Etsy is the handmade mecca of everything, where you go to find everything handmade, handcrafted from any category you could want. You can find something there that was made by someone and not made in a factory somewhere and mass produced.
Now, I know because I've talked to you a lot about this, because I'm a data nerd and a marketing nerd, because I wanted to know why people were able to find you so easily. Would you be willing to share some of your secrets of getting found on Etsy? Because
Absolutely.
I think a lot of our listeners not only use Etsy, but didn't know it existed. They've just realized it existed, and they could get a leg up.
Sure. Anything to help, because I was that person and I'm still that person. So, basically I looked through the forums. Before I even opened a shop, I did months of research on it before I even decided to put anything there. And basically they say, through the forums, that is, most people that have established shops say you need at least 10 items and ready to go that you can produce or already are produced before you open your page. But the main thing that really gets you noticed, because you're competing with millions of people. Your best bet, especially if you're making something that, I don't know, off the top of my head, what I do, let's just say wall art. Well, that's the biggest, broadest category you can think of. So you're competing with everybody that put wall art. But you have to include, they give you 13 tags, is what they call them.
A tag is a word that describes your work. Okay.
That can be used in the search optimization to where, you put, say, wall art, then you put wood wall art, then you put rustic wood wall art. And you really want to narrow it down to as finite as you can, so that you're in your, box, so to speak, in a good way.
It sounds like those were words people would actually type in if they were looking for you.
You got to think as if you're searching.
Okay.
And anything you think of things that may be somewhat associated to it that people would search for. And that way you have the best possible, leg up to get towards the top of the page. Because honestly, you search wall art, you get 70 pages of results. How many people go past page 5, 6,
Very few, unless they're looking for something very specific.
Exactly. If they're just browsing, they might not even go past page 2.
The importance of niche, huh?
That's exactly it. So
And so the tag words that you use would kind of do that then.
Exactly.
Put sound wave.
Exactly. I put sound wave, because if you're searching for sound wave related products, then I'm going to be up at the top of the list, because it's not a huge market, and I've got it, cut down enough to where I can get it into the first page. The main thing that I can say is develop your network.
Yep.
Before you even get going, assess your network.
Yep.
What is your network? Who is your network? And from there,
who's going to care that I'm starting this?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people have more power than you think, right? I bet a lot of your sales have come from people that you didn't think would ever buy anything.
Absolutely.
Because it's their friends and their friends.
And they support friends. They support locally. That's a huge thing to me too. I enjoy seeing my friends do well. Yeah. And so do some of my friends, obviously. They want to support people that are trying something and trying to do something for themselves. And, especially when you're going out on your own on a limb, like that's a crazy time, crazy emotions.
It is. But by the time 6 months into having your business, you were able to
equal my pay.
Yeah, you were able to stop working full time and do this full time.
Yep.
And that is an American dream story right there.
Absolutely.
By itself.
I'm so thankful for that.
It's amazing. You've done an amazing job.
And that's the goal. You want to at least make what you could make working your full-time job. Then
Then you stepped off of the cliff.
Yeah. Then I decided I'm just going to do this full-time, which you talk to my girlfriend, might be a little more of a stressful conversation because it's up and down. That I will not lie to you about that. You live and die
I
by
don't
the
want
sales.
you to lie to me. That's reality. And if you sugarcoated it, people
Yeah.
that have a business would not believe you anymore.
Sure.
So
Because you live and die by every sale when you're
Yes.
starting out. And, just for example, this week and last week, I'm plowing through orders trying to get them caught up. Well, I'm almost caught up. And I'm waiting for the other orders to come, and even considering myself being successful with this, you're still living order to order.
sure.
Because you're new and you're trying to get out there, and you always feel like you're swimming against the tide a little bit, because it's always a constant struggle to get your work out there, and you want to get it to new avenues. You don't want to beat the same paths over and over, because eventually your friends are going to quit buying your stuff.
Well, I will say this. You are not only selling to friends, and I don't want to
Sure.
give people that
Sure.
impression. It's your friends, your network has gotten the word out because your art is cool.
Sure.
They share it. Other people see it and contact you.
Yeah,
It's not that your friends are buying your work.
It's not only friends; they
No,
is
no.
strangers, so that's good too.
Absolutely. I know that it's strangers for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think? And by the way, I love that you're being honest and saying, oh my God, I don't have any orders, because, there are celebrities that live in that reality too.
yeah.
They have a movie, they become famous, and then they don't get a movie for a year for some reason,
Sure.
whatever
Sure.
reason. And I know you're not in that situation.
No.
You're at a week without an order and
Yeah,
you're freaking
yeah.
out, and I love that. I also think there's
I love it when you're freaking out.
I don't love it when no.
Cheers to that.
Schadenfreude Inc.
I also want to ask you, it's different being an artist and running that as a business, because you not only have to run the business, you still have to make the art.
Right.
And,
Right.
people that are selling a widget that someone else makes, or people that are selling insurance, they don't have to stop and go into a workshop and actually make what they're selling.
Sure.
How do you balance that?
Okay, so the balancing act, it's really a part of, you want to have that creative energy. You want to be creative with everything you're doing, but then you have to step back and say, okay, let's look at finances. Let's look at how much this piece is going to cost. We have to price it. We have to talk about delivery times. Is it shipped? Is it delivered manually? Are they close enough to drive it? And so that part of it kind of, keeps me going too, because I like planning the numbers. I like seeing how much, it's going to cost on materials, because that'll help me in the future to just quickly whip it out, say, okay, I need, this much to pay for this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. But then when I'm actually there making it, then all of that kind of disappears. So
You get to go in your zone
just
and
do what
make
I
the
do,
art,
and
which is beautiful. You
it's
found a
good
way to do
feeling.
that.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's a nice clarity time.
You're very lucky because you have an equal parts or almost
Sure.
equal parts of left brain, right brain, and a lot of creative people. I'm not going to say they don't have it, but I wouldn't necessarily celebrate their
Right,
business side.
right.
But a lot of them do, and they just aren't using it because they don't realize they could. So maybe your story will inspire some people.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. That
I'm
was,
so glad I was able to do this. Thank you guys.
outstanding, and we will check in with you every once in a while too to see how you're doing. So maybe in a few months' time we come back and you're like, God is so. Or you're like,
Don't do it.
You're like, dude, my piece is in the White House. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
you never
that's
know.
great.
Never know.
8 months in, we'll see how it is
Yeah,
in
man.
10 or 12 months.
Yeah, you're
so.
a guinea pig.
Yep, that's right. I'll take it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Good
you.
seeing you.
I love talking to Aaron. I think he's an inspiration. He's started out small and celebrating every small win, and he's so open and honest and not putting on any airs, and I think that's really helpful for people to hear what he's really doing to keep his business going.
Yeah, he is an inspiration because he did the American dream. He went from having a regular office gig and got fed up and was like, you know what, I'm going to take my skills as a woodworker and I'm going to put it to good use, and he did. And all the pratfalls and the victories that come with it, he's experiencing, and we're going to check in with him periodically to see how that's working out for him.
So let's move on to Tom Says, because this is the first installment of Tom Says, and
Yes.
it's one of my favorite things about the show is this segment. I love to talk to Tom. He's from Cleveland. He lives in Austin now, but he's a family man. He's a successful entrepreneur and a practicing attorney, and we will be following him along as he's starting a new business. But I really just love to talk to him because he says what he really thinks.
Yes, I
You know.
missed that about where I'm from up north too.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of bless your heart and shading what he really thinks. Tom says what he really thinks, and Tom is proof that you don't have to love social media and the whole selfie world to succeed and make it work.
And it's going to be a continuing segment, so we'll be listening to Tom Says throughout this season. So you want to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Tom.
Tom Says.
Who in the hell is Pokemon and where is he going?
Tom Says.
Okay, let me tell you about my feeling about homeowners associations in general.
Tom Says.
Next thing, we're begging Yelp to say, well, why is this negative review on there when the positive one that we just had 10 of get dropped to the screen and nobody sees? I have never taken a selfie.
Wow. Say that again.
I have never taken a selfie.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't even be in selfies. Like my daughter
I
wants
was
to
going
try
to
to
say,
do it.
you haven't been in any of your daughters?
I think I might have been in a couple, but she has to catch me not paying attention.
Right.
I will not pose.
Well, I have a couple of pictures of you with your wife where you posed for me, like when we would go out or something. But
And then you put it on somewhere? I didn't say that I haven't had pictures taken.
oh no,
of
no,
me.
no! I was clarifying that you are in photos, but you just you won't do the reach your arm up and take a selfie, duck face thing.
No.
No.
And then there's technology now that you can take a picture of a crowd at a football game, soccer match, basketball game, whatever it is, and you can identify the people that are in there, and then it'll go out into the social media world and look at the Facebook and the Instagram and the Snapchat and all that other nonsense and pull you out, and then people just see you in a crowd. Now they know your whole life story.
It is creepy. I was speaking at an event once, and the guy sitting on the panel next to me had his phone kind of propped up on the dais, and his phone kept showing these little blue birds in places, and I looked over and there was a lull in the conversation, and I was like, what is that? And it was an app that was telling him who in the room was tweeting and what they were tweeting. So he could see exactly what people were doing. And my son in the car one time took his phone and aimed it at someone next to us, and I said, Kaylin, what are you doing? And he goes, that guy is posting something on YouTube right now. I want to see what it is. And he had an app that was showing him what that person was doing.
The YouTube. I haven't had anything on YouTube either.
The YouTube.
Man, I do.
Now I go to the YouTube a lot to watch.
I was going to say
music.
It's a lovely, lovely thing.
And like if I need to fix something, greatest invention
Absolutely,
ever. But
without a doubt,
I'm not going on there and doing whatever else is going on.
Yeah, I have a topic for us to talk about real quick. It's similar to the thing where you can tell what people are tweeting and pictures of the crowd. It came out recently that Samsung had to apologize and for their smart TVs listen to your conversations, and then you are fed commercials on your Facebook feed and your Google based on what is being said in your house. Do you know that?
No.
Every time you get an app, if you look at I have this experience because I was in Randall's, or like it's a Safeway, it's a grocery store. And so I'm in there and I've got 3 people waiting in front of me. So I'm like, it says, you have to update your app, and that's how I get some coupons. So I'm like, great. And okay, you have to redo your permissions. So I look at the permissions because I got 3 people in front of me, and it's camera. They have access, 24/7 access to your camera, 24/7 access to your mic, anytime they want. You don't have to be on it. They have access to it. All of your friends, all of your contacts, all your locations, where you've been, and that's everything. It's just you have a big microphone in your pocket.
And then you talk to people like my wife, and she'll say, oh, what do I care? I've got nothing to hide.
That's exactly right.
Well, nonsense.
You've
got all kinds of stuff to hide.
Well, it's not so much that you have to hide. It's that it's private.
I wish I could go back to my cell phone that was like the brick. Remember that one?
Yeah,
Sure.
The big one.
I had that one dropped out of my pocket. I could kick it down the parking lot when I was going to pick it up, make the phone call. I don't like texting because my eyes are bad. I can't see it. All these other gadgets you can do. I just want my phone to make a phone call. I'm actually looking at that one that's in the back of like Reader's Digest, the large print Reader's Digest, where it's got like the
The
12
cricket.
buttons. Yeah, something like that.
Well,
old
laughter
people.
truly
And
is
then
the
the-
best medicine.
And then the 2 buttons, like the emergency button and the phone I can't get up
Stop
button.
it.
That's the phone I want.
That's
Stop it.
that's pretty. They should be a retro, and you charge more for it. Like we charge you more because we can't get your information.
Exactly. I love it.
Tom says.
Who in the hell is Pokemon and where is he going?
Tom says.
Okay, let me tell you about my feeling about homeowners associations in general.
So that's Tom Says, and I gotta say, I love him.
You broke the mold.
I love him.
Broke the mold.
I think he's got a lot of important words to share with the people.
Genuine.
Shiny words.
So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to follow along with Tom because I think it's going to be interesting to watch his new business. You know, he's already successful in other businesses, so let's watch him and see what happens.
Yep. No, it was a good show all the way around. Let's summarize. What did we learn? Moral.
Well, here I'll give you here's what we know from episode 102.
Excellent.
Okay. We know that 70% of small businesses in America are owned and operated by one person.
That's incredible.
It is. We also know, just from experience, we know that nobody really is alone and that the people in your life also play a role in that business, even if they aren't on the payroll.
Indeed.
We know that it is extremely important to celebrate small wins when you have them. And there's, I think there's something to be said for celebrating small losses if you learn from them.
It was Mandela who said that I never lose. I either win or I learn. And I think that's really an important thing to say while you're dealing with a small business, because you've got to take those victories. You have to take the victories, and you don't know how precious they are until you've had losses.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I know we're speaking from experience. It's important. We also know that Aaron Harris is growing Harris Handcrafted with online tools and a strong social network. We know that Aaron's tips for getting found on Etsy will be available for download on theeasymarketingguide.com under episode 102.
Along with other things.
Right. We know that Tom Cesney has never taken a selfie, at least not on purpose.
Yet.
Well, we know that at some point I may or may not have actually taken a photo of Tom and posted it on Facebook and or other said social media sites. And I may or may not post a picture of Tom on the episode page just because I can.
So it'll be a Pokey Tom.
A Pokey Tom.
Search for Tom on the internet.
I might have to make a Pokey Tom.
Augmented horrible reality.
And we know that our second show has come to a close.
Excellent. Oh, you're going to be speaking soon.
I am. I'm hosting a one-day free conference in Austin. It's called Small Biz Camp.
How does one sign up for that?
Well, it's on August 19th. It's in Austin. And to be clear, nonprofits are also invited. It's sponsored by Alignable. And you can sign up. You can either go to smallbizcamp.eventbrite.com or come to theeasymarketingguide.com, and I'll put a link and some information up there.
And you have a class coming up, don't you, this fall?
I do, for nonprofits. Also in Austin. You can now earn a certificate in marketing and promotions for nonprofits, and I'm teaching. And the classes are starting September 9th. It's every other Friday. It's for 8 sessions. It's worth 45 hours and 4.5 continuing education credits from Austin Community College. And there's actually tuition assistance around that. And we'll put information about that on the website too.
And as always, please hit subscribe and you will get updates from the show when we put a new one up, which will be weekly, probably on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I think we're going to go Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it was a good show.
All right. Go out there and earn your luck. You can do this. Peace out, people.
Cheers.